And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Smokin Tabacco Show. I am Matt Tobacco from SmokinTabacco.com, and I am not joined once again by my good friend Mr. Jonathan M. Carney, but I am joined here with Smokin Nicole and our very special guest, Mr. Joe Grow of Drew Estate. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm very excited to be here.
Absolutely. We try not to be too biased here at Smokin Tabacco, but at the end of the day, people are going to smoke what they like to smoke. And in our free time, we do like Drew Estate. We like Liga, Herrera, Stali, the whole bit. Undercrown. Great lineup. You guys are a big company, great brand. You have a lot of lines, a lot of fun stuff going on with you guys. We've been fans for a while, on our personal side. So we're really excited to be, we've had Nick Laramie, who's our local rep, on the show. So we've had a Drew Estate presence before, and we're happy to have you on with us. This is really cool. Welcome to the show. We have something special that we're going to get into a little later on what we're smoking. I don't want to give it away, but we're smoking something new that, as far as I can't talk tonight. Oh, let me take a minute, rewind. From what I've been told, no one else has. We are the first ones to have it and smoke it from Drew Estate. It's unbanded. We don't know what it is. No one will know what it is until it's announced later on down the road. But we are smoking this. It is lit up. We'll get into that in a minute. But Joe, before we get into that, let's talk about you for a second. I'm going to dive right into it because we got a lot to cover tonight. You've been with Drew Estate for how long?
It's 4 years this month, actually.
4 years.
I started it. Thank you. It's been an exciting journey. It's been a kind of crazy 4 years.
I'll say, especially last year. I mean, that's all I need to say. Just last year.
Yeah, we all know what happened in 2020, and it was a crazy year, but it was an interesting one and a cool one for the cigar industry, I will say. I mean, in its own way. COVID's been presented a lot of challenges, but it also allowed for a lot of room of innovation, and especially at Drew Estate. So we had, a tremendous year, and we got to do things completely differently and really engage with our consumers in the digital space like we're doing right now. I mean, we're all used to Zoom and Skype by this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and we've talked about it time and time again, but I think last year was a huge, I don't want to say turning point, but it was definitely an innovation year for the cigar industry. I mean, it's always been something that was a very in-person, face-to-face business, and it was forced to go online and digital, and there's a lot of good things that have come out of it. And I think that it's good for manufacturers and brands. It's been good for the retailers. It's been good even for the consumers. There's a lot more content and there's a lot more information for them to gain out of this. It's good for everyone, and we're really just proud to be a part of it. Before Drew Estate, were you in the cigar industry at all? Did you work anywhere else, or was this kind of your first forte into the cigar industry?
So I have a kind of a weird journey at Drew Estate. We kind of describe ourselves as, the island of misfit toys. We all, a lot of people in the cigar industry, a lot of people don't necessarily intend to be in the cigar industry and end up here. I'm a software engineer by degree. So
nice.
And now I work, my market cigars for a living. So, there's disappointment all around. No, I'm kidding. It's actually fun to live out your passion. So I was, working for a healthcare startup in Pennsylvania, and I love cigars. I was on, Reddit, browsed our cigars, made some friendships. We started having local herfs. I got really and fell in love with the community. So I started working, doing stuff remotely from my job at the cigar lounge. And what I found most was I wanted to absorb everything. I wanted to learn every cigar, the history of tobacco, learn the business. And, I would be working for my lounge. The shop owner, he would share information with me. I got very close. And then, one day he said, "Hey, do you want to actually, mind working here a little bit?" And I said, "Sure." Because I could work there just, part-time while I was doing my other job. And I started learning the cigar retail business. So I worked for that store with Cigar Mojo and another store, which is B&B, B&B Cigars in Philadelphia, and just doing that part-time, learning the business side of it. in the meantime, I also became a moderator on our cigars on Reddit, and I was also working with CFW. I started as an event coordinator, and then became a part of their social media and their digital leadership group. And what we kind of learned a lot of different aspects of the business. And again, the closer I got to the industry, the more I fell in love with it. So I packed up my dog, my clothes, and my cigars. But and I was literally filled my car. The rest of it went into storage, and I started with Drew Estate.
Wow. You've certainly come. Sorry, my microphone was off a little bit. So you've certainly come a long way. But it seems to me like you've done well so far, Drew Estate. From the social media side of it, we're all over social media all the time, and you're someone who's definitely active on social media, especially within the Drew Estate groups and stuff like that. You really connect with everyone out there, and you're very approachable. You're very accessible, which is great. Especially, we've talked about this with, one of our partners with McAuliffe Cigars. Their staff is very approachable and available to the consumers and to the retail. Everybody who wants to get a hold of them, they're very accessible, and I think it's something else that's kind of come out of COVID and the lockdowns and people being home and all that and having to go online. It's been good. People just feel like they have more access, which is funny because I will say within the Drew Estate groups there's a running joke. I know you guys have a customer service program where customers can submit defective cigars and what have you, and you guys will take a case by case basis to address those issues. And it's funny because a lot of times I think I see a lot of these ones, and I've done it too, where people kind of make jokes out of it, and because I think some people kind of take advantage of it, or maybe they don't take advantage of it, but maybe they try to make something like more out of what it is. And I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, where there's people who smoke a cigar that hasn't been humidified in 2 weeks and it falls apart, and they're like, oh my god, hey Joe, my cigar fell apart, I need like a new one for free. Oh, by the way, it's a Liga number 9 Corona Doble. Like, okay, yeah, sure, let me just get that right out to you. Meanwhile, it's it's user error.
Oh yeah, no. Look, at the end of the day, we get the occasional one of those, and it's not that many in comparison to the 100 plus thousand cigars that we're making a day. So when you see one online, but our job really, I don't handle customer service, but I always interact with the group. Why? Because our customers deserve a good experience. They're paying their hard-earned money. These aren't, not everybody can, splurge on the boxes of Liga 9 at a time. So if he's buying it and he's a blue collar guy and this is his one moment of celebration and he has, a bad experience, that we want to know that Drew Estate stands behind our product, that we actually care about you and our, what we're putting out there. And if you have a bad experience, we want you to have a good one. So that's why we always direct them to, our customer service. Anybody ever wants to know, it's help@drewestate.com. And what we do is we send it over to our customer service guy, Taylor. He'll take care of you guys because, again, we care about our customers and their experience with our cigars. If they have a bad experience, that could be something that turns them off a brand. And that's not something we ever want to do. We're welcoming to everybody. So we really care about that and take really good pride in it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great program. I've run through it myself. I won't get into any specifics because I don't want it to come across the wrong way. But there's definitely been some times when I've taken advantage of that service because, I've purchased a box where there was more than one, defective cigar. And, my local rep told me like, hey, reach out, and you guys took very good care of it. And I really appreciated that. And I think that was really awesome of you guys to offer that service. I know some of the other manufacturers will kind of do that, and they all kind of vary, and it's a little different case to case. But you guys are, it's pretty easy. You send the emails in, send the photos, the information, and you guys will take care of it, which I think is great. And I wish that more brands would have such a nice setup platform to do so. But I wanted to kind of tease a little bit. I kind of want to get into news right away because I've been excited to talk about this. It's just been so interesting. And also kind of we can do our sports with it a little bit, but our news segment is brought to you by McAuliffe Cigars. McAuliffe Cigars, become an ambassador today. Join all the fun. Get your McAuliffe tasting passport at McAuliffeCigars.com today. So I still don't even, for me, we talked about this before the show, so you already know where I'm going with this. I still don't know like what to make of this. I don't know like it's not like I'm not. Let me just set this straight. I'm not going. I'm not taking like a negative approach to it. I'm still trying to figure it out. So just bear with me here. But earlier this week, United Cigars announced that they were announcing releasing a NFT cigar called the Adobe Black. I think it was it the Sabios they were doing it in? What size was that? Ritos. It was the Ritos. So the Adobe Black Ritos, and it's an NFT cigar. And I read that, and I said, first of all, what the hell is NFT? This is news to me. And then I kind of got the understanding that it's kind of like a cryptocurrency kind of thing. It's a digital format. It's not a real thing. It's not a physical, tangible item.
It is a non-fungible token. That's what it stands for. NFT.
So
Mhm.
it's interesting, and I've spoken to a couple other people, and that's about as detailed as I want to get, who said, yeah, it's something that we were looking into as well. And I was like, oh, really? So it's not just them, and this is something. And then I read today that Tom Brady announced that he was starting an NFT company or something along
He's
those lines.
becoming involved with an NFT company called Autograph, which is supposed to do
Uh,
something similar, where these celebrities or sports people, create these digital things for people to purchase.
so, Joe, since you're on with us and you're our guest tonight, I guess I'll pick your brain a little bit. What is your thought process? I mean, it doesn't have to be like on the cigar industry side, but on the NFT stuff in general. It's new to me. I don't know a lot about it. What's your kind of thought process on this whole thing?
Well, it's interesting, right? I mean, these have really sprung up in the last couple months, and the real question becomes: you see NFTs. I know a couple musicians, and they're doing different things with their CDs and launching, NFTs, and it's really kind of this weird thing when I see it also in art. It's a question of ownership because yes, you technically have the digital token of the original piece of art, but do you own it? Do you own the copyright? Do you own if I own like a print or if I own a piece of art, I actually have a physical item. This is a digital item and it has a worth that we kind of just associate with what it is. And there's no physical piece tied to it, and it's kind of strange. And then now seeing it to cigars, it's interesting, right? For me, I always appreciate innovation and technology. I like seeing companies jump on, much like, we were the early adopters of creating digital events, and on a mass scale. I mean, digital events have existed before, but how do you roll that out to your local store all the time? And we kind of pushed forward with that, especially during COVID. So I like seeing companies jump to it. What's going to be interesting is what's that consumer reaction to, if I remember reading the article correctly, there really wasn't much disclosed on what do you actually own. What are you getting with that? It's rights to a box of 10. There was 10 boxes, and I think they were doing one more in 25 singles. So I'd like to learn more and then see how can we adapt this to the cigar industry. Maybe it involves pieces of subculture art or rare sticks so that you can actually have the rights to that box through this, and then potentially trading it. Like I said, I like innovation, so I was excited to see it. I want to see more. I want to see a little bit more depth and a little bit more understanding of what they're trying to do.
Maybe this could be the solution to, or maybe not a solution, but maybe it's like a sidestep to kind of that you can add on to the new H99 Liga Privada that everyone so desperately wants to find. Well, we have an NFT version of it that you can own.
We're getting there. We don't need the NFT yet. More H99 is coming. I mean, it's been at the events, but more is coming. So that's just one of those things that we have to get through it. You got to be patient with tobacco, man.
Yeah,
it takes
absolutely.
time.
It does take time.
What I was gonna say though is they didn't. While the cigars haven't been made yet, they did say potentially in the future they might be made. So I'm curious to know too, with that purchase, does that entitle someone that cigar if they do become made, like physically too? Um,
Yeah, was that clarified
No,
or
no, it wasn't. They said
uh,
maybe.
just an idea?
It wasn't
Okay,
a no, but it was a maybe, or maybe those
okay,
people just have the option to then actually purchase them in the future. So that's
right.
interesting too.
Yeah,
100%.
it's gonna be it's interesting, you know. And Unite, I think United is the first ones to do it, so it'll be interesting to see. Like, okay, so they did it. I know there's some other people talking about it. It'll be interesting to see, like, as it kind of it develops more and it evolves, and maybe other manufacturers do it. At least on the cigar side, like, okay, so now let's say, like, you know, a handful of them are doing it. Now everyone's like, oh, should we get on this bandwagon? Do we see? I mean, is it something that grows into something, or is it maybe couple more people jump on the bandwagon, but it doesn't end up being as popular as everyone kind of hoped it would be? I don't know. It's one of those things. It's new. There's not much about it, and you have to just watch it grow. But to me, I'm still just trying to figure it out. But hey, you know, it could be the new thing and it could be awesome. So I'm not gonna knock it. I'm just gonna wait, see where it goes. Um, I think that's all we have for news this week.
Yep.
But since I mentioned it earlier, I figured I'd bring it up a little bit. So you guys have been doing these virtual events, and I brought up the H99, and you guys have been doing these virtual events that you announced earlier in the year that you were going to be doing through the spring. And anyone who wants to get, you know, the H99 Liga, you know, you have a chance to obtain one through these virtual events. Um, you know, I think those virtual events are pretty cool. I think I've been on a couple of them now, just a little bit here and there, and it's a fun concept. You know, there's some cool stuff that's going on. There's cool stuff being given away. There's cool stuff that's available for sale. Obviously, the H99s are a huge thing. Everyone wants the H99. Um, Now, is that something that you guys are only doing through the spring? Are you gonna keep going with that, like even past? I thought
So,
I heard like it was around May it was gonna go till.
so the H99 is going to go through around May 12th. That's about when those events are going to kind of wrap up, and there won't be H99 available after that because it's still limited quantities. Now, you know, there may be something that it's going to change come June when we have some new sets of events coming out. You guys will have to wait and stay tuned for that. But we've been doing virtual events since pretty much the start of COVID. We pretty much hit the ground running in May of 2020, where we trained our reps and got them on board with how to do this. And last year was the cigar that you could get only through virtual events was Year of the Rat.
Mm-hmm.
And what we really wanted to do last year when we started this was, how do we help our shops? How do we help our retail partners who are going through COVID, going through state closures? How do they connect with their consumers and help them sell product and basically keep the lights on during this time? If everyone remembers back a year ago, it was Wild West of who was open. Down the block was open. This guy was doing curbside. There was no real rhyme or reason, based on state restrictions. And how do you, as a company, innovate and try to help these stores sell cigars? How do you get the consumers the cigars in their hands and support their brick and mortar shops that they love? And that's why we came up with these virtual events. And it allowed stores that were, doing just curbside to actually get their members together, get their customers together, have a good time, interact with Willie Herrera, JD, Pedro, and just enjoy that feeling of camaraderie that we love in cigars virtually. And it's been very successful for us. We've rolled it out. We've done now, hundreds of these events at this point. We're doing 10 to 20 a week, and it's really just a way that we've been able to maintain during COVID to connect everyone.
Yeah, it's definitely. I feel it's been a hit. It's been a very interesting set of events, and I'm on the Drew Diplomat app. There's a little plug for the Drew Diplomat app. It's a great app. If you're a Drew Estate guy, you got to get on the Drew Diplomat app. But yeah, you go on there and it has all the listed events, and you can, see when it is, where it is. You can have the Zoom link. You can get right on it. It's very easy. If you're a Drew Estate smoker, and you keep up with them, and you're on the Diplomat app, or if you're on social media and you're just in tune with your local shops and whoever. I mean, it's pretty easy to follow and get involved with, and which is great. It's all about the end user, people who want to get involved, and convenience and ease of use is always a plus. But yeah, it's been a cool set of events. You guys have been giving away some awesome swag. There's some weekender bags. I know we got the T52 weekender bag, which is awesome. That bag is sick. I remember getting that bag and being like, swag item. And I was like, this bag is badass for a swag bag.
I actually really love I mean, I don't know if it's is it well, yeah, but
What is
the
it?
undercrown, the lunchbox. You might
Oh
want to
Oh,
yeah,
the Shape for
yeah,
Days kit. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
that
That was
lunchbox is
That,
cool.
cool.
oh we had a series of those tins, and we all different contents. Right now we're doing Herrera Esteli, and this one has the domino set. It has the notebook coasters, basically everything you need to just kick back and get ready for summer and just play some dominoes in the lounge. They're awesome. Everybody loves them. They collect them. I actually saw a guy who's mounted like every one of them on his wall, during his little smoking lounge. That's why I love all of our fans, all of our supporters, because they're nuts. These guys are crazy, and I love it. I mean, you guys have tattoos of Underground and Liga. They have every cutter and hunt it down known to man. They mount them on their wall. It's fun, like that. I love it, seeing the commitment and how much Drew State means to them, because they mean the world to us.
Yeah, you guys definitely have a huge loyal fan base, and I feel like it kind of goes without saying. You guys are just at that kind of level. You have that cult following, more than just a cult following, but it's a dedicated following, and you guys have such a huge portfolio that there's enough. What's the how do I want to word this? This is you guys have enough of a diverse portfolio for all different kinds of cigar smokers as well. You have the well-known acid line, and there's usually people who are fans of acid. They're all about acid. You have the acid fans. You have the Liga fan base, and the people who go and they chase down number nines and all the Unico series. And then they have, there's the Undercrown group who's kind of also in the Liga group. You have the FSGs. You have the Herrera Esteli. um, it's just such a diverse group of different cigar smokers, but they're all kind of under your Drew Estate umbrella, which is awesome. Um, and I think that we watched McAuliffe. We mentioned McAuliffe, who are our partners at McAuliffe. They've kind of done something similar with their ambassador program. They've in the last year, during this whole thing, they've been able to really connect with their group. They have their own Facebook group. Then they have the whole coin. Everyone, the ambassadors, they get a coin with the number and all that, to really interact with the customer base, the end user, the fan base, and all that. They kind of do it directly, just like you guys do. And I think that you're going to see more of that kind of come to light with a lot of brands that may be even copying your style, so to speak.
I mean, imitation's the sincerest form of flattery, but the fact is that, look, I always see, I see what McAuliffe is doing. I think they're doing great things. I think a lot of companies are out there learning that you can't just sell a cigar to a store. Some people do. Some companies do have B2C. Right? Sell to direct to consumers. But at the end of the day, you need to interact with your consumer. You need to be we want to be a part of their life. And one of my favorite things, being with the Drew Estate group or just talking with our guys, is how Drew Estate becomes a part of their special moments. Like that they're lighting up a cigar at their wedding, the birth of the birth of their firstborn kid. Like there's so many moments that they choose to smoke a Drew Estate cigar during that. That shows how much you mean to the brand, and then to acknowledge that and to be, hey, thank you for being a part of that. It makes them, they've really, they appreciate it. They're loyal to that. And I mean, there's so many guys that we sit there and we care about and we talk to on they become friends, because that's where we are. We're not just a company. We're people. We're sitting there. We want to interact. We want to know about your life and you sharing our life and be a part of each other's moments. And that's a cool thing. And that's not just from me being head of digital marketing, but that's our reps, our TMs, all of our salespeople, all of our marketing people. Everyone is out there and engaged because we really care about Drew Estate and our products and our community that we built. Like, it is our number one thing and of our most important focus, and it has been since day one. If you don't have the consumer, what do you have at the end of the day? Because you need someone to actually care about what cigar they're lighting up.
Absolutely. I think that not that companies didn't care about the customers before, but I think a different approach and a different mentality is definitely becoming into play now. I think you guys have definitely jumped on it. I mentioned McAuliffe has jumped on it, and there's a bunch of other brands who've jumped on it as well. I'll even give John a pat on the back. John's not with us tonight, but John as much as he's part of the Smokin Tabacco team, he's part of the La Flor Dominicana team, and he's kind of taken his own project kind of under his wing, where he kind of has mixed what began as his quarantine hobby, his hacking gourmet, his cooking project, and he has taken that and tied that in with shops and with LFD by doing his gourmet smoke sessions. And now he goes to shops all around the country, and he'll do a cooking experience while also selling LFD cigars, and it's online. You can either be there in person and eat and enjoy, or you can be at home and you can cook along with him, but you can still buy the special cigar that's going on sale. You can go on to his meat purveyor and you can buy all of the ingredients for everything he's cooking. So it's very interactive whether you're there or not. That's a whole nother twist on kind of getting into the shops and getting even just the customers together kind of directly in these events. That's another success story right there in itself.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And I definitely give, mad props to Hacking Gourmet and what John, did. And he built it out. He started with, the quarantine grilling. I know it was him, and then him and Brian, and then he brought in, Fred was in, and it was a cool show. It's a really interesting, and I love what they're doing with the cigars. And on our side, we've been, since I think we're actually coming up on a year of it in April, which is our, weekly cocktail show, Sticks and Sips.
Yeah.
It's hosted by Frank Marino. It's our, weekly cocktail show. We pair a cigar with, we have a liquor guest, and, really kind of getting into in-depth of the pairings. And it's been a lot of fun. And when you see that, it's really what's cool is when you build out those fans, like the guys that tune in every week, and you guys have your fans, and they're always commenting, they're always tuning in, and you love those guys. And then you see their setups. They're like, oh, I got my drink, I got my setup, I got my iPad going, I'm ready to rock tonight. And it's one of the most fun things out there.
I'm just going to use this as a plug for a second because I've been waiting to bring it up, but we have this amazing fan that I want to take a minute to talk about. His name is Bruce Stark, and he watches our show pretty religiously, but we had sent him an Opus box, and he had his buddy make us a ukulele.
Oh, nice.
That is actually playable, which I can't play, but I'm going to learn. But it's made out of a cigar box, and it's, I think, the coolest way to recycle one that I've seen yet is a ukulele.
That's so awesome.
Thank you, Bruce.
I told him I sent him an Opus box because I had a box and I was like, here, make it out of this. But I was also like, I really want one out of a number 9 box too. I need one of those, so I'm gonna have to reach out to him and have him make another one because I definitely need a Liga box ukulele to match. I just gotta have one.
I gotta get one too, and then we can have a jam session. I think this is gonna be, you gotta have the ukulele jam session.
Well, it's funny. You mentioned ukulele, and I'm looking at this room that you're in, and you got a very tiki theme going on. You have the tiki cup. You got like the what do you call it? Like the straw on the walls. You got the the tiki artwork. Where are you right now? Is this at your house, or is this the office?
No, this is my garage. So this is, sometimes it was my part of my office during quarantine, and what happened to everybody during quarantine. We all tried to find a hobby, right? Yeah. We found something that we wanted to get into. We had, we were going stir crazy. We needed to learn something. And through Sticks and Sips, I kind of really started falling into learning to make cocktails. I'd watch Frank do it every week, and I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. And I always had an appreciation of, Tiki. And I said, you know what? I'm going to build a Tiki bar, and I'm going to just kind of start learning. So I've been learning to make cocktails a little bit. Some good, some bad, and learning the ins and outs of it and learning from Frank. It's been a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people, that's what they use quarantine for. They learn to, okay, I want to have a new hobby. I want to learn something new, and I just kind of fell in love with it. And now, I went kind of ham, but it's okay. It's fun.
So
that's all right. It looks badass.
I have a question. What's your favorite cocktail of the moment?
I've been making. It's called an Aku Aku Gold Cup. It's just, it's lemon, falernum. You do it with a little bit of white rum, a little bit of dark Jamaican rum, and a little bit of sugar. And it has that right amount of sourness and sweetness that it's delicious. So I've been making those kind of on the regular lately. That's been one of my go-tos. And then usually I pair that with, I'll do that with like a Herrera, a Norteño, or a Brazilian Maduro. Mostly with the Norteño because I get a little bit of a citrus note in it. Then around second, third, which not everybody, gets that. Some people just look at me like, what are you, crazy? But I get that, and it just kind of pairs really well. And Norteño is it's one of my favorite sticks that we make.
Now, I'm not super familiar with sips and sticks, but do you guys have like a book or a ebook of all of your pairings and drinks?
I won't go into much yet, but something is coming. Little news. I'm breaking some news here, and I'm probably gonna get yelled at by other people that are like, "Oh, you can't tease it yet." No. So we are working on a cocktail book that is actually going to be a printed version and digital. That's going to feature all the pairings from our first season, and it came out pretty. We're doing the finishing touches, but it looks amazing. So it's going to be kind of a cool way for everyone to then go and recreate the stuff in the past. And we always post up our graphics every week that has the recipes and the videos on how to make the cocktail, so that people can go back and recreate or pair one with us. So that's always a cool thing.
Yeah, everyone loves cocktails and making them, and I mean that's you do.
Hey, sometimes all you need rum and pineapple juice, and then there you go. You got something rocking already,
Yeah, you just build off of that. That's your foundation. So, Joe, earlier in the show when we first opened, we teased a little bit about something special. Something you wanted to talk about. We want to talk about. We're smoking it. This is a very special cigar, and it's not out yet, but it will be soon. And I'm gonna kind of let you have the floor on this, and I'm gonna let you kind of tell us a little bit about what this is and what's going on with it.
Well, it's a cigar.
Yeah, obviously.
You have kind of a Maduro wrapper, maybe. I'll give you, it's a 6x52. It's a Toro.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that's all I'm really going to say about the cigar. I mean, I'll let you guys in a minute. I'm curious to see what you guys think. So, as being the first non-Drew Estate people to actually smoke this cigar. So, but what this is, guys, is we started again, with COVID, we created something that's called Freestyle Live. That's it's usually around every quarter. And that's when we get John, Willie, Pedro, Juan Martinez from Hoya de Nicaragua. And, we highlight our newest swag that's coming out. There's the toolkits that you guys mentioned, the Shade for Days, and then, the Herreras now. But then we did something, that's called Freestyle Live Special Edition. Now, that Freestyle Live Special Edition is when we come out and we're now unveiling new products, all the new cigars. It can be also new swag, big news, big announcements, like multiple products. And we really want to just create this cool moment of, hey, you're finding out with us the information. So that was last year we started that. We had our first one in May. And now we're saying, well, wait a minute. What do we want to do next? How do we take this to the next level? And that's why this year we created what we call Freestyle Live event packs. We announced it last on the 31st, I think it was last Wednesday, and we sent it out and we said, here's what's going to happen. Starting on or around April 13th at retailers, you're going to be able to go into your local retailer. There's going to be about 230, 250 retailers posted up on our website that are going to have these event packs for sale. It's $40. Now, $40, you're going to get 3 of these mystery cigars. You're going to get a Freestyle Live, hold on a second, travel humidor. You're going to get Zycar Cutter, XI2. You're going to get a lighter, Freestyle Live.
Ooh, it's a good cutter.
And you're going to get a badge that's also going to be your sweepstakes ticket. And we're giving away a dirt bike, a Suzuki dirt bike. We're giving away a standing humidor, and we're giving away this badass Subculture designed Subculture Studios bar that's Drew Estate branded. It's kind of like our bridge design, but in it's a 4-foot wide bar. Like, this thing is amazing, all made by hand. And what are we doing this night? So, usually we're going to talk about some of our new releases that we just, that we posted about on social media. We're going to be, putting out there in press releases, all the new news. But this night's special because we're going to reveal what this is. So this is your opportunity to smoke a nationally released brand. This is going to be available shortly after the show. The show is May 6th at 7 p.m. You want to be able to get into this. You're going to want to grab your kit, light up the cigar, join us for this night because it's going to be special. And the coolest thing about all that stuff you're going to get is $40. This isn't like something we're going to gouge anybody on pricing. Like, this is the price of those 3 cigars. You're going to get all this swag for free. You're going to get the entry in the raffle for free. Why? Because we want you to be a part of us that night. We want you to be with us, lighting up, enjoying, really kind of, finding out what this cigar is as you smoke it. And that's a kind of a cool moment. That's going to be something that's like, you're going to remember, because you're going to remember when you lit that up and you're going to say, wow, I was there that night when JD or Pedro revealed kind of what it is. And I remember that. It's, it's the things that we always learn from our barn smokers, our cigar safaris. When you create a memory and a momentous night for somebody, that's going to last with them for a long time. And that's something that, really endears them to Drew Estate, a brand, and just has that really fun moment of community with us and all of our Drew Estate fans. So we had 2,300 packs made. They're going to be out very soon, and you're going to be able to be literally the first people. I mean, you guys are the very first, so you got a week and a half head start, but you're going to be the first people to actually really smoke this with us, and that's kind of a cool thing. So now I'm going to kick it back to you guys. My turn to ask a question. What are you kind of getting? What kind of notes are you getting from this cigar? What are you tasting? What are your thoughts?
Right away, I'll tell you. It starts out with like a tiramisu, like the lower part of the tiramisu. You get like the cream, the lady fingers, the espresso, and it kind of that little bit of sweetness, but then it finishes off. It goes a little dry, and it's like the cocoa on top.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I'm at right now. It starts off a little sweet, and then it kind of goes savory at the end, and it kind of finishes off, and it dries off, and I get like a deep, rich cocoa on the end.
Now, when I smelt it first, and I smelt this really sweet cocoa. So I expected it to be sweeter, and it wasn't. It was more of what he just said, that kind of dry cocoa notes. It's mouthy. Personally, I don't want to say meaty, but it has like that mouth feel.
It's a
to
mouthful.
It. Yeah, it's a mouthful, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in typical Drew Estate fashion, it's a very smoky cigar, so there's a lot of smoke production.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's one of the things I love about like the Ligas and the Herreras and the Undergrounds. There's a lot of smoke. The FSGs, they create a lot of smoke.
I'm enjoying it.
I like it. I do like it. I'm just trying to see the thing, and I said this kind of before. The thing that kind of threw me off, so I was reading a little bit about the description. The thing that caught me was ultra premium cigar. And I'm like, okay, one would think, okay, like Liga. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's what it is. But that's where your mind goes first. And then you're kind of smoking it, and you're like, yeah, but there's several other things that I could see this kind of being close to as well. So I don't know. It's good. I'm probably getting into the second third of it now. My first third is I'm about through there, and so yeah, so far it's a dry cocoa for me that's really standing out.
What I will say is, it's definitely worthy of us going to our local retailer and buying the pack anyway.
Yeah, I still might buy a pack. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna go and get them. He says,
yeah, I would still do that.
I'm going with or without.
No, I appreciate it. And that's the cool thing right now. What your guys are playing in this guessing game, this thought of like, what is this? What could this be? What notes am I getting? Would I smoke this? Do I want to smoke this again? Do I want to smoke more of this? That's the cool thing. This is now you have this moment, for the next month, all month long, you're sitting there like, you get to play that guessing game. Save one of those sticks for the night of so you can light up and enjoy it with us. But this is your opportunity to really kind of put your thoughts together, put your guesses on the blend, put your guesses on the notes, and then see at the end of the day, like, holy crap, did I get it right? Was I close? Was I way off? And like, this is not at all what I thought it was going to be. But that's the cool new level of interaction that we're looking for. It's not just, okay, we're going to be sitting there interacting with you. We're going to do some cool giveaways and stuff like that. No. Now you're experiencing this with us. And that's that's why we wanted to step our game up, change it up a little bit, because we're Drew Estate. We don't just rest on our laurels. We can have a ton of viewers and hundreds and thousands of people tuning in, and to a live broadcast. That's one thing. but how do we now make sure that, hey, you're at home and you're doing something with us, not just commenting on the video. Let's actually have you doing something cool. And again, you get together, you're the first in. You get to be the sneak peek, and that's a cool piece of the process.
And one thing I did want to mention that I read that you didn't touch upon that I think is actually really cool of Drew Estate is that um, you're also having a sweepstakes for the retailers who are participating. And while there are 3 top prizes, the grand prize is going to be a mega standing ashtray, 3 Dream Seat recliners, and a $5,000 credit for store improvements, which I think is huge because for those retailers who are participating, if they haven't, been able, during COVID to make any changes or updates, like this is going to really help them improve their shop. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We want, this isn't just a night for consumers, right? This is us talking to our trade partners. This is a night we want everyone to pack the house because we're unveiling a new brand. We're celebrating a lot of momentous things this night. So of course we're going to do something to reward our trade partners who supported us. They've supported us way prior to COVID. We supported them during COVID, and they supported us still. It's it's a communal piece. So it's not just we're focusing ever on the consumer 100% of the time, ignoring the trade. No, we want to do something for both and for everybody. And this way, everybody wins. It makes it a really fun experience for everybody. And that's why things like we do with our barn smokers, cigar safaris, we don't just bring consumers. It's not just a consumer event. Trade comes too. We invite them. They join us there, and it's fun.
Yeah, so far I'm having fun with this because I love this whole guessing game thing when it comes to cigars. Like Abe did it or is doing it with his connoisseur club, and I remember when I first started doing it, it was so interesting because it's like, okay, there's 5 different brands in here. They each made some, and you smoke through them, and you're like, all right, and you're trying to figure out like, who does this taste like? First, you try to figure out like the region. You try to figure out the tobacco. Then you try to hone it in on, all right, well, who makes something like this already? And and I remember doing it, and I remember there was 3, and I was like, I swear it's one of them I thought was a Drew Estate, and I was like, this is definitely a Drew Estate. Like I don't know like where like they would squeeze it into their like line, but like this is a Drew Estate cigar, and it was like Alec Bradley, and I was like, what? And it like threw me off. I was like, what? I'm like, no way. So it's definitely fun.
Well, and that's one of the cool things about Drew Estate too is, look, we don't own any farms. We buy our tobacco from everywhere. We don't buy just Nicaraguan tobacco. We're buying, Honduran tobacco. We're buying Dominican tobacco, and we buy a lot of tobacco in the United States. And that allows us to have those different, like you talked about earlier, different cigars for different people. We make something for everybody because we don't just fit into one specific profile. Not saying that that's a bad thing. Vertically integrated companies make tremendous products, and that actually allows them to have really tremendous efficiencies owning the whole process. But it allows us to be different and create these different things from Herrera Esteli to Liga Privada to Deadwood. And it's very unique, and it allows us to then say, hey, we have something for you. You may not like everything we make, but you know that there's going to be somewhere in our portfolio, there's a cigar that's going to probably be your favorite.
Absolutely. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. I mean, there's different companies who do different things, and to each their own. And whatever works for you maybe is different for someone else, but it works, I think that's really well said. I want to quickly, because I'm keeping an eye on the time here. I do want to hit sports really quick. I know I kind of talked to you a little bit before the show about some topic. I know you have some things you probably want to say. John's not with us this week, but our sports segment is brought to you by Nova Cigars. Platinum Nova, make Nova big. If you head over to novacigar.com, you can save 15% off your order by using our code SMKTAB15. Head over to novacigar.com. So, sports. Baseball has started. I think is it the first full week? I don't think it's quite about a week now since opening day, since baseball has started. We're from New England. We're from, just outside of Boston. So we have the Red Sox, who went into this season with a very skeptical, like, what's going to happen this year. We didn't go into it being like, this is the year, but like, we also went into it like, well, hopefully it's just like a decent year and there's just some good play. And it started off a little rocky, but the last couple of games they've actually done pretty good, and they've had some good baseball. That's been, I would say, better watchable baseball than last year. I think now that they've kind of had some time to start working on some of their issues on the field and kind of, shape the team into where they want to be for the future. Just a little bit I've seen. I'm hoping it's still a decent baseball watching year for them. Joe, I know you asked about baseball. So what's your team?
I'm a Phillies fan. Born and raised in Philly, so grew up, went to the vet. The insanity that was the vet back in the day, and Phillies, they're starting off hot. We swept the Braves. That was kind of crazy. We took two out of three, or no, we beat the Mets, and we won again today. And the big thing is our bullpen hasn't completely collapsed. Like last year, that was it was the worst season to ever watch, because every game you're sitting there, it's like, oh, we're up. It's it's 2-0. It's in the 6th inning. And then you're just waiting for the collapse. It was inevitable at that point. It was hard. It was traumatic. But this year, the bullpen's doing well. Our starting pitching is on fire. The bats are there. So I'm feeling good. I don't know if we're going to take. I'm not saying World Series yet, but I'm feeling confident right now.
Let me ask you a question, because I don't know many Phillies fans to ask this question to. But what? I mean, maybe it's different now because he's on your team. But what was your thought on Bryce Harper when you first came to Philly? Like, were you happy that you had him, or were you like, this could be a pain in the ass?
No, I was 100% happy that we got him. Look, that when you have, I'll say this. We went through 2011. You have Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, and you're sitting there. You have you have some amazing pitching and some of the best pitching that I've ever seen on the staff, but the bats just weren't there, and they, you lived and died by your pitching, and you're sitting there. It's like, if you don't have the bats, man, you're not gonna win. We ended up not getting knocked out in the divisional round because we just couldn't get a hit. And now you have Bryce, you have Real Muto, who's freaking. I'm so happy that we re-signed him. That was a big one because he's the best catcher in baseball, and I mean. You got Gregorius, you got Bohm just knocking it out. Like, when you have someone like Bryce Harper and he can just light it up, and he gets the team, he rallies the team around it, and it's a great feeling to have. So, and on top of that, the contract looks great. A couple years later, I'll say this, when you're like, oh, $300 million, oh my God, it's so much money. And then you start seeing what the Mets paid Linder and everybody else. It's like, oh, wow, this actually looks relatively cheap as a bargain, and I'm perfectly okay with that. So I think we're now starting to see the dividends of having a guy like Bryce Harper on the team. So it's exciting.
I remember his free agency like it was yesterday, and I just remember going through the off season. So my quick thing is, in case you don't know, so I grew up at Fenway Park. My dad has worked there since 1999. I had the privilege to spend some years with him as well. We're kind of in the same business. I'm not there right now, but at the time I was with my dad, and I was every day going to Fenway Park, to work during the day. And so, baseball was always kind of, up. It was the conversation. It's always been something for me. So, during the day we talk about it, because, we see stuff on the inside or whatever. But, we follow the league too. And I remember when his free agency happened, me and my dad were sitting there talking about it. And I'm like, all right, so Bryce Harper's like the guy in free agency this year. And Machado was out there. But Manny Machado is also one of those players that a lot of people have a problem with. I'm not a fan of him at all. I definitely like Bryce, like a lot more than Manny Machado. And I think Bryce is a great player. And he can be hot-headed, but he's a good player. But I remember watching him like, all right, this is going to be interesting because it's like, where's he going to go? What's he going to get? I knew he was asking a lot. And, I think the Red Sox tried to talk to him. The Yankees tried to talk to him. All the people with all the money tried to talk to him. And, Phillies, for sure, were in there. And I think Phillies talked to Manny as well. But I remember that one being like, he didn't get signed until
Late. It was
it was late.
It was like right at spring training.
Yeah, it was. I remember just sitting there going like, what the like, is anyone gonna pick him? Like this is, I mean, this is a hot ticket. And I remember waiting. And Machado was like right there too. And I think if I remember correctly, it was like Harper got signed, and within like 48 hours, that's when the Padres grabbed Machado. And I think because they were kind of like the two, and it was like, all right, well, like, what are you gonna get, and like, what is he gonna get? And like, I think Harper signed that deal, and it was like, all right, there's my benchmark. This is what I'm getting. And then the Padres grabbed him. And as much as the Padres gave him the $300 million that he wanted, I mean, I don't really follow the Padres, and I didn't follow any of, if you want to call that a baseball season last year. I really didn't follow it. Because for me, I was already just like, by the time they started their 60-game season and everything, I was already so turned off. I was like, I can't even do it. So I gave up on last year as a whole. But I've definitely heard more out of Bryce Harper than I heard from Manny Machado. So it sounds to me like the Phillies have kind of gotten their money's worth so far out of Harper. And,
I mean, at the end of the day, let's see what, we signed him. He's a great player, but we want postseason out of it. We want to get to the postseason. And now I'm feeling confident that, where it wasn't before around the team that's being built, where, Milton's not afraid to spend the money. He showed that this offseason with re-signing Didi and Real Muto, made some, smart decisions. And now we're just getting there. And now let's get the team ready and rocking. And I think we can make a run at it. We'll see. I'm sure the Braves are going to rebound. I don't see them collapsing. They have too much talent. So, but I think we're going to give them a run for their money, and let's see what we can do. I'm feeling excited. I feel like if the team holds up as well as they're doing now, we can take anybody.
All right, so let's switch gears really quickly. Are you an Eagles fan? I would assume so. You football guy?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I'm sorry about the first one, but you're welcome for the second one. Glad you guys got one. I mean, we still got 6. And then we let Tom go to Tampa Bay and share the wealth. But no, I mean, to be honest with you, that last Super Bowl, I mean, we should have beat you guys. You get a backup quarterback starting that game. We sat Malcolm Butler, which I still don't know. I don't know what that stupidity was all about. That shouldn't have happened. He should have been in that game. That should have been our game, but you guys got it. Whatever. I'm over it now. Congrats for you guys, and I'm glad you guys got a Super Bowl win. But
I hear it in your voice. You're not over it. It's okay. The Philly special is going to be ingrained in your memory for the rest of your life. It's fine. And that strip sack, it's crazy how much that brought to Philadelphia. Like, I don't know if you watched the parade and if you or any of the coverage
heard about
after. It. I invite you to go back and watch just Jason Kelsey's speech, where he's dressed up as a mummer and he's sitting there and just giving the most epic speech of all time. Because that is Philly. We are the underdog. Nobody ever likes us. No, we don't care. We're just this. We're assholes. We're like people say, oh, people from New England are assholes. No. It's a different story. But we're caring assholes. We care about our sports. We care about our town. It's like we always have that chip on our block, and we still do. Even after you win a Super Bowl, we still feel that way. And it's just one of those cool things to see. I mean, look, we never won a Super Bowl before, and we didn't burn the city down this time. I mean, just a little bit. But that's just. I mean, I was part of after we won the World Series in 2008, that was interesting. I was in college at the time and, going down Broad Street, celebrating / watching some things get set on fire, fireworks being shot out of the buildings and everything else. It was a unique experience. But it's Philly. That's just Philly, man. And it is a sports town. We are diehard fans. We hate everything about our teams half the time. And we complain more vocally than anyone else about anything. Even if it's going good, we'll find something to complain about. But it's because we truly, truly care about our teams.
Yeah. I get it. I understand the passion, and at least you guys have the passion. There's other cities that they don't have the passion. I mean, look at the Chicago Bears. They signed Andy Dalton, and even their own fan base is like, really? Come on.
Yeah, that
Really?
I have
Gee,
we have a few.
thanks.
Yeah, we have a couple of Chicago fans on who's our senior brand manager and our CEO Glenn Wolfson, both from Chicago, both Bears fans, and they're just sitting there like, what are we doing? Like like when you sign Andy Dalton, it's just like we might win a couple games. I guess he was available. I mean, there was just so many other options that you just had, but it's just resigning yourself to mediocrity. But it's okay. Hey, it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, the way I view the Andy Dalton signing is like, when you got like a little league team and like one kid like can't come out to play that day and you're short a guy, so you're like, I mean, like my sister can like play the outfield. You're like, yeah, I mean it fills the roster, but like anything hit the left field is gonna suck. So I mean we can play though.
It's the Andy Dalton line. You've signed the bare minimum of what would we count as a starting quarterback before you need another one. So it's okay.
I'm watching our time. We're running out of time. We're gonna wrap the show up soon, but before we go, I do want to say thank you for coming on with us. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us. We appreciate being the first special few to smoke this interesting, mysterious cigar. I like it so far. I'll tell you, I'm just about halfway. I like this cigar a lot. I enjoy it. I would definitely buy this cigar. And I don't even know what it is, but it is good. And like I said, I still think we might even buy one of the packs too, because I'm not done having fun with these yet, and I look forward to seeing what it is. But Joe, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. And before we go, I want to throw it to you. The floor is yours. Anything you want to say? Any announcements you want to make? Anything else? It's up to you.
I mean, guys, thank you first of all for having me on. It's a pleasure. Usually we got the Willies and the Pedros out there, but I always enjoy a chance to talk with my friends in cigar media, and you guys are doing a tremendous job. And all I want to say extra is make sure you guys, tune in. Make sure you follow Drew Estate. You're going to find out soon where you can buy these packs. The Freestyle Live packs are going to be on sale starting the 13th. Freestyle Live Special Edition is May 6th, 7 p.m. on Facebook, Drew Estate Cigar. And then, in the meantime, tune in to Sticks and Sips. Check it out. It's a great show. We have a lot of fun, and we have a lot of announcements coming your way. So there's some exciting stuff coming in the world of Drew Estate. So we really want to just thank everybody, thank all of their support and the customers, our retailers, everybody. We love you guys.
And also don't forget to check out the Drew Diplomat app. I'm on the Drew Diplomat app. If you don't have it, you should download it and check it out today. Log your cigars, use your points, bid on some cool stuff in the Redemption Center. It's definitely a lot of fun, especially if you smoke a lot of Drew Estate. You might as well cash in on all those cigars.
And we have some big stuff coming for Drew Diplomat pretty soon as well. So that's another little teaser. I know Coop's gonna love that. He loves teasers, but you got to say we got some big news in Drew Diplomat coming soon. So keep your eyes peeled, guys.
So can I just take a stab and say we possibly see like a Drew Diplomat app revamp coming?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll say yes. We have a completely revamped Drew Diplomat app coming very soon. It's going to be available. You're going to be able to use it on any device, including your desktop. You're going to be able to log your cigars. We're going to have some new features on there. All your favorite Drew Estate products are going to be on there. And you got some cool stuff coming in, that you can redeem your points for that you haven't even seen yet. So we got some really cool stuff coming soon.
I'm really excited. Sorry, I didn't mean to dig it out of you, but I am a Diplomat user.
No, I appreciate it. Hey, I love all of our users, but what we want to do is now, look, it's, with Apple and Google and, you got terms of service issues. We got to move and we got to innovate. So it's time to get to the next level. And I think you guys are going to see something really cool, and it's going to be exciting because Drew Diplomat is where it's going to be. We got a lot of fun stuff coming for that.
Well, we're really excited for that. Nicole, is there anything that you wanted to announce for us this week?
Yes. So this week, we actually launched our raffle tickets for our 1-year anniversary fundraiser. So for those of you who have bought swag from our swag store for the past, month, I think we've been doing it.
It's been about a month since we opened it up. Yeah.
Anyone who purchased swag from our swag store, 100% of those profits have gone to benefit the Cigar Family Charitable Foundation. And now we're in phase 2. So that while that is still happening, we are now selling $5 raffle tickets. And right now we're up to 14 great prizes, and 100% of the raffle ticket cost will go to charity as well. But for those of you who did purchase swag or are going to go that route with it, for every $5 you spend, you also get a raffle ticket. So right now we're over 250 raffle tickets sold.
Mhm.
So we have, in total, but there's some great opportunities to win, and it's going to a great cause. And we are going to announce the winners on our 1-year anniversary podcast episode at the end of this month. So boom.
Yeah, we're very excited, and I just want to make a quick thank you to everyone who not only has contributed, donated, purchased items or purchased raffle tickets. I also want to thank the manufacturers who did donate, some cigars and some swag to raffle off. You didn't have to do that. We really appreciate that, and we as much as people love the free stuff. People, we love to raise money for this charity. So, and it all helps. In the end, it all helps in some way. So thank you for that. It makes it more fun, but it also helps us, raise as much as we can for this charity, and we're really excited to be a part of it. I've spoken with the Fuente family members. I know they're very, very excited that we're doing this for Cigar Family Charitable Foundation. So, guys, just thank you. It is up on SmokinTabacco.com in the store. All the items, like Nicole said, everything you buy, you get a raffle ticket, and all the money goes towards the charity, as well as the raffle tickets are on there as well. So go over there and check that out, guys. It's for a great cause. It has nothing to do with us. We're just running the fundraiser. We have some cool stuff on there, but it's all about helping the kids. So thank you very much for everyone who has contributed on both ends of it. So I think that's really all I have.
Matt, let me ask you a quick question. When's the raffle?
So we'll pull it at the end.
So Wednesday the 29th.
Yes, Wednesday the 29th.
So how about this? I want to throw in something. I have to go to the office and check it out. But let me throw in a unique piece from Subculture Studios. I want to throw in something for the raffle for you guys. It'll be hand painted, something cool from us. Look, it is a great cause. The Fuente Charitable Foundation is fantastic. Let's throw something in here, and we'll get we get something cool for you guys to raffle off to you guys, and it's a great thing you guys are doing.
Wow, thank you very much, Joe. That's very kind. That's very generous. That's really awesome. And you've heard it. You've heard it here first, right from Joe. There's another item that'll be part of the raffle, and when we have more details on it, we'll announce that too. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Joe.
No problem. Thank you guys for doing such a great thing. So really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said since day one, when I started this, at some point, if I could do something charity related and give back to people, I wanted to use my platform for good too. So, to help people other than just myself. So I'm just really excited to be doing this, just in general, regardless of the occasion or why. It's exciting to run a fundraiser and to help other people. So it's like I said, it's personal for me too. It's very exciting to do this. So thank you. But guys, that is going to be our show for the week. Same time, same place next week. I believe John will be back with us next week. So if you missed Carney and Carneynomics and all the other stuff, I'm trying to entice him to do another sober beer. It's been a while since he's done soap, so maybe I can squeeze one out of him next week. But other than that,
And
Nicole.
Next week we have Sean Williams from Cohiba on the show.
Yes, we do.
So, boom.
Cohiba fans, rejoice. We have a show just for you next week, so stay tuned. Guys, we will see you next week. Take care.